Alright, so I guess I'll upload back-to-back videos since I forgot to upload the other one. So, if you watched the last video, you saw that I got the frame rails in, middle cross member welded in, torque boxes and gussets welded in. Since then, went ahead and welded the floor pan. Floor supports are welded, middle tunnel support or transmission cross member is welded, the inner seam over here that goes at a 45 on the firewall from the torque box upper plate is welded to the side now, and of course all the front floor to firewall welds are all done. I had to make a couple relief cuts here and then 2 more over here, and you can see where it fucking hammered crappy. It'll all be covered up, and I'm gonna have a center console, so I wasn't really worried about that having a hump there. It's all gonna be covered. But all those welds are done. Next will be grinding all these smooth. I think everything on this side, on the passenger side, is ground down. The driver's side still needs to be done. On the torque box side of it, yeah, these few here need to be ground. The ones up here. And then underneath, I think on the floor support, have to be ground, and right here from the torque box. And of course, these gussets. Like I did on the other side, I'm gonna leave this. I'm not grinding it smooth. It's welded all the way up from the bottom to top on the torque box. And I had to do a relief cut here on the torque box piece, and then closed it up top. I got paranoid whenever I saw these huge gaps. I was like, what the heck is supposed to go there? I was like, are they really that much off? And I forgot, genius me, that the apron goes there and pretty much blocks it off. But anyways, so that's where I'm at now. All the floor pan firewall stuff's done. Next step will be grinding everything smooth, getting the welds covered with some epoxy. I'm just gonna brush over them. And then I'm gonna start fabbing up this front panel for my Willwood pedals. I've got the plate that welds in here. I've got to measure and get my fit right, and I'll cut this out, and I'll flange it upwards or flange it inward to give my inset, my depth on it. I think it'll inset about 1 inch maybe. I really don't remember, but it'll inset some. And then my plate will weld onto that, and then I'll have another bracket that'll bolt up. I'll have to figure it out. I'm trying to remember where the original column, I want to say it bolted here and here, the original foot pedal assembly, but it'll bolt up to whatever bracket I make. I'll probably make it out of 1-inch tubing, square tube, and it'll bolt to the original spots where the column, or where not column, but where the original pedals, clutch and brake pedal bolted to, and it'll allow a top support for the pedal assembly to bolt the top to. The front obviously will be bolted to that plate. I keep snagging on these damn holes from self-tappers. I need to grind those clean before I cut my finger wide open like I did before. I still have to hammer this in. I'm not sure why the hell they do this little crinkle, but it makes it offset and have a gap. I guess I can just hammer and dolly that flat so it sits flush like it's supposed to. I'm assuming it's supposed to sit flush. And you see where I marked the aprons from before. Those aren't permanent probably. They'll get me up in the ballpark before I weld, but that's the next step, is the pedal assembly. If someone that's done an aftermarket steering column could help me with this, I'm wanting to do like an I did it column or one of the tilt columns. I really don't know what the best one to go with is, but I know the original column bolted up to the dash here, and I think to the original pedals. But since I won't be using the original pedals, I know people have used these Willwood setups and have done the rack and pinions and don't bolt it up to the pedal assembly. They have like just a bracket that goes across here. I've seen the billet aluminum ones. I'm assuming the regular bracket that had the column on it can fit up here somehow. I found mine already, but I want to say mine fit up to the pedals. But from what I've read, you can use the original column and the column bracket with the rack and pinion setup. I don't know if the parts needed for it come with the rack and pinion setup or what, but I want to say it can bolt, in between here and some bolt hole right in here, or up here maybe. Shit, I don't even know. I'm guessing these two here is where it would bolt to. Guessing, I don't know. If I have to order that billet assembly now, but I was kind of wanting to use my original column and then upgrade later to just save some cost so I could get this thing going a little bit faster. What I'm thinking about doing is pretty much doing all the body work, getting it done, and then all the interior, pretty much all my original setup, throwing that back in for now and just start upgrading as I go. Anything that doesn't require major modification like weld and body work, I'll just upgrade down the road as I go, like my gauges, my seats, wheels even. I'm even contemplating going with a basic disc brake setup and then getting the wheel widths I want later, just because the wheel widths I want are they're about $1,600 versus the like $300 stock brake set. But I'd love to get this thing on the road again and be able to just upgrade as I go, because money has slowed down on this. I've burned through what little bit I had stashed aside on tools and whatnot lately. Same thing, the hood, the doors I do have aftermarket, but the hood, the trunk, all of that, I could reuse my original and then just upgrade this stuff later. But if anybody has any input on how the columns work, shoot me either put a comment or send me a message on how I go about doing that. I need to get something to hold my column in place so I can line up my wheel wood pedals. So if nothing else, I'm gonna have to order those billet adapters, I guess. And I'll have to find out if the stock column and the I did it column are the same diameter, because that might be an issue. Those billet brackets might only be for like the I did it's or Flaming Rivers or whatever they are. I know Flaming River they have a lower piece that goes here that has like a swivel ring, and the stock one's just like a 2-piece clamp setup with a gasket. So I don't know the deal with that either. I'd like to keep everything nice billet looking and not use the doo-doo looking bracket thing that came with the column. But if that's my only option, then I'll do that. But moving along, can't wait to get this thing actually on wheels again. That'll make my day. Got to get with Rod and Custom on the rest of my costs for my front suspension brake and rack setup. I might just go ahead and throw that on a credit card for now to get it. But till next time, guys. Thanks for watching.